Sawaya here on this fine Tuesday, the 12th day in June, and oh my god, news about Google? No way. Okay, so we all know that Google's motto is do no evil, and perhaps they're not doing evil, but in one respect at least, they could be doing better, and that's privacy protections. A recent report by the human rights campaign Privacy International, which analyzed the world's leading internet companies, found Google the most lacking across the 20 criteria they assessed, such as ease of account deletion, privacy policies, and amount of info collected. The companies were ranked on a color spectrum from green, where no one made it, to black, where only Google ended up. Privacy International therefore characterized the search giant as, quote, hostile to privacy, which Google of course vigorously denies. Facebook, Apple, Windows Live Space, Yahoo, and AOL all made it to the second to last category, substantial threat, whereas Last.fm, eBay, LiveJournal, the BBC, and Wikipedia came out on top. And today's weird lawsuit is brought to you by the Church of England? Yeah? Yes, specifically, the folks at Manchester Cathedral have their vestments in a bind over a new Sony video game. It appears that the cathedral was used as the backdrop for part of the rather violent game Resistance: The Fall of Man. Okay, so church folks would understandably be upset that their sacred place be portrayed as a scene of bloodshed. But what exactly would the legal basis for this be? The church says it's because they visualized the cathedral without permission, but do they have the rights to that? Interesting side note, the church has told Sony it will hold off on the suit if they make a, quote, sizable donation to their youth education program. Nice tactic. Buy us off and we won't make a stink about our dubious legal claim. Taking a cue from the RIAA, perhaps? For those of you who like your tech history, over at MSN.com you can take a trip down mobile memory lane with their slideshow, A History of Cell Phones. I like the early ones, like Motorola's first brick phone in 1973, which weighed 2 pounds. It was the first proposed portable phone and doubled nicely as a free weight. Somehow missing the memo about lighter is better, Nokia then came out with this behemoth in 1982, weighing 22 pounds. The list also mentions notorious mobile misfires like the awkward Nokia N-Gage and the less than thrilling Motorola Rocker. Of course, it all culminates with the upcoming iPhone. It'll be nice to see where that one ranks on a similar list, say, 15 years from now. Art break, woohoo! And we're not going to look at just any art, but art using that most favorite of childhood pastimes, Lego. Nathan Sawaya is a sculptor working in the youthful medium of Lego, though his works, like this one, called Grey, aren't necessarily childlike. Yellow is one of an evocative series of figures, which includes Red, originally titled Escape, and Blue, where it's up to the viewer to decide if he's taking himself apart or putting himself together. Sawaya also does mosaics like this portrait, Untitled, or his copy of Van Gogh's Starry Night. And for the super geeks out there who may have seen the photos floating around the internet, Sawaya is also the one responsible for the giant Lego Han Solo in carbonite. For gadgety fun, let's look at an intersection of tech and fashion in another variation on the theme of clothing that hugs you. We've seen before a vest that inflates to hug you when it receives a message from afar, but the hug shirt has a slightly different approach. It's a Bluetooth accessory, and when you hug your shirt, your Bluetooth phone senses it and transmits the message to another hug shirt. Here's the explanation from the folks at Cute Circuit who designed it.
The hug is captured in a series of sensors that are throughout the shirt, and they're quite precise sensors because if I push very lightly you'll see that I only get in the range of 5 or 6, but if I push extremely hard you can see the number goes up very quickly into the 500 range. The sensors in all of these areas record the position of your hands, the duration of the hug, everything, which becomes packed into a message and then can be sent anywhere in the world. For example, you could send it from Tokyo to New York. And when the hug arrives, it arrives in the mobile phone and becomes unpacked into actuation so that the recipient actually feels where the hug took place. And what they feel is warmth and a little bit of vibration. And now it's connecting with my shirt. And now I'm feeling the hug where she squeezed. It's played back just like a movie, so if you just pat on one shoulder, they will only feel it on one shoulder. But if you do something that's completely surrounded, then they would feel the hug completely surrounded.
It seems like it wouldn't give you as authentic a sensation as the vest that inflates and squeezes you, but still a pretty cute idea and considerably less bulky. That's all for now. Until the next show, what would you like your clothes to be able to do? Like, what if your pajamas could wake you up with a hug in the morning?